Alright, we're back for round 2 of geocaching. I've retired the log cache from the last video, and despite me explicitly telling you that I've retired this cache, that seems to have not stopped some of you runts from sending me photos of you in the middle of the night at the old cache location. But enough about this cache. This time round, I have listened extensively to all your positive feedback and suggestions in the comment section, and I've decided to go much bigger and grander this time for the cache. So this time we're going to have not 1, not 2, but 3 caches as demonstrated by the whiteboard. Site A is going to have cache A, which is the first cache which will actually be on the geocaching app. This will provide coordinates for site B, which contains cache B, which will not be on the geocaching app. The only way you can access this cache is if you follow the instructions on cache A. I know this is quite hard to understand. Please follow along. Site B will then contain the coordinates to get to site C, which houses, you guessed it, Cache C. And Cache C will have a prize of some sorts. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It might be cash, maybe a gift voucher. People like gift vouchers. It's going to be worth your while, I'll tell you that much. Whatever it's going to be worth your while, I'm sure. Now, because all these caches are going to be at different sites, I want it to be a little bit of a journey. So you're going to have to drive from site A to site B to site C. I'm not going to have them all in the same location. Now, for cache A, I'll show you what it's going to look like. Now, cache A is going to be buried in the ground so that it is flush with the natural terrain. So it looks like it's just a part of the normal ground, but you can actually pull it out of the ground. Basically, it's going to be an ammo box, and on top of it, it's going to have wood with dirt from the natural terrain around it glued on it, so it just looks like it's part of the ground. You're going to be able to pull it out of the ground, and inside will be where all the trinkets and knickknacks are. Now for the trinkets and goodies that are going to be inside this cache, I am very excited for. First of all, I'm going to bring back the communal teeth and toenail jar from the last cache. I feel like this didn't get a fair shake last time. No one used it. So hopefully this time around we can get some contributions. Next up is some canned Chinese spam. I thought we could have something with a bit of protein in the cache in case someone was a little peckish after finding it. Next up is this little clay creature that I made myself. I thought someone might like this. I made it specifically for this cache, so hope someone enjoys that. And now for probably my favorite thing is the Hawaiian meal from Chicken Treat, which I have vacuum sealed. Some lucky individual is going to be very happy to find this. We've got pineapple ring, 2 deep fried bananas, a bit of a chicken wing, and some chips. You know, you got to be first in, first served to get this one. I would be very jealous if I missed out on this. And finally, all caches must have a logbook, but this time around I decided to spruce things up. You know, instead of a regular logbook where you just write down that you found the cache, I have made a photo logbook. So this time, I want people to put photos in of them finding the logbook. I don't know how successful this will be, but to get the ball rolling, I have put a photo in already. As you can see, Jared is very chuffed to have found the geocache. Now on the inside of the lid of this cache, there will be coordinates to find the second geocache, which I hope they do. The second geocache, as I said, will not be on the geocaching app. It'll be off-grid, so only real adventurers will go to this one. Now there is one problem with this cache being buried. There is apparently a rule on the geocaching website where no caches can be buried under the ground or involve you digging natural terrain. But I may have found a loophole. It doesn't say anything about you finding and using a perfectly dug hole that exactly fits the dimensions of this geocache. So if I just happen by coincidence to find a perfectly dug hole that fits my geocache, who's saying I can't use that? And that loophole will come in very handy for the second geocache, which is going to be buried as well. So basically it's this. It's got a bit of depth to it, so I'm going to fill the top with dirt, and just imagine this is it flush with the ground around it, and inside's going to be dirt, so it just looks like the ground. But to indicate that it's the geocache, I'm going to have a gnome sticking out, and this gnome is also going to double as the marker for the geocache, as well as the device used to pull the lid out. Inside this cache, there's just going to be 5 copies of the Adventures of Clutch Powers on DVD. So the lucky 5 that get here first get a DVD. But it's not just any ordinary DVD. Burned onto the discs of each and every DVD will be instructions to get to Site C to get to the third cache. So only the most keen and the most adventurous geocachers will take this home, put it into a DVD player, and play the message. Now for the third and final cache, I don't have anything planned right now. I hope it will be revealed to me in a dream or a vision while I'm making the other caches. I'm thinking of having some sort of cache prize because I don't know any other reason why anyone would go to such lengths to get to the third cache. But that's not the focus right now. Right now I've got to make the 2 other caches and then make the third one when I think of it. Alright, it may have taken 5 months, but I finally got around to building the caches. Here's the first cache that will be on the geocaching app. As you can see, I stuck the wood on, cut it to size, stuck some dirt on the top. Like this is all pretty sturdy dirt. Not much comes off when I shake it. It's all siliconed and super glued down. This rock here, you may think is a real rock, but you'd be wrong. It is in fact a fake rock, which you can remove, which gives you some keys. These keys unlock this padlock if it was locked. So you put the keys in, unlock it, and then you flip the lid, and inside's all the goodies. But there is also a note on the lid. And this note is inviting fellow geocachers to come find the second cache. So if they're feeling brave enough, they will go look for this second cache. As you can see, Gerald the gnome will be the indicator that you're at the right spot. So you just use Gerald as the handle to remove the lid. As you can see, I got a bunch of dirt sitting in the lid, and in order to make it not as heavy, I had the great idea of putting foam in the bottom. I'll show you a photo of that. That was pretty ingenious of me, I think. It just makes the lid a lot lighter, because otherwise it'd be a few kilos of dirt in there. And then inside is the 5 copies of Clutch Powers. But it's not any ordinary copy. When you open it up, there is a QR code, as you can see. Now, I was originally going to burn blank DVDs with my video on it, but instead I decided to use a QR code. I think it's easier. I think the barrier to entry would be a bit higher. I don't know how many people have DVD players anymore. And I didn't want it to be like the great filter where this stops everyone from continuing on to the third cache. Because I think most people will just get to that point and think, yeah, f it, I'm not going to go any further. And this QR code plays this video.
Hey. Joe Pal Clutch. Heard you're looking for a geocache. Well, today's your lucky day. Go to these coordinates and find this egg that's hidden for a $100 cash prize.
Now the coordinates to that video will lead them to the third location, which is the third cache. Now I thought a lot about what I could make the third cache, but seeing as so I've waited so long to make this video and it's nearly Easter, I thought the perfect idea would be to bury an Easter egg into the ground. So it's their own little Easter egg hunt from me, and this one's like one of those Kinder Surprise eggs where you pop it open, and inside, just as promised, is the $100 cash prize that I'll be stuffing into it. So I won't bury it too deep, maybe like that much underground. You know, you're gonna make it a bit interesting for them. So now that I've made the caches and I'm all set, I think it's time to go put them out in the wild. Oh wow, what a coincidence. I've just happened to stumble upon this perfectly sized hole for my geocache. I did not dig this or anything, I just found this. Amazing how coincidences work. I might as well just put my geocache in there. It's a perfect spot. Now it's filled in and covered up. It's like it's never there. All you can see is just the rock. It's the one marker. You can tell that it's there. All right, time for the second cache. Oh my God, it's back-to-back coincidences. Another magical hole I've found that perfectly fits my geocache. It's truly an Easter miracle. There we go, we filled him in. He looks pretty at one with nature. As you can see, you can lift it up. It looks pretty well hidden anyway. I'm just going to cover it a bit more with some more sticks and shit. And I think it's pretty well hidden. Got a nice shallow grave for the egg. And he pops. And now we bury him. Okay, time to debrief. It has been about 2 months. Oh yeah, but before I do the little synopsis of what happened, there was a slight hiccup with the first cache, you know, the ammo one where I put it. I didn't realize that you couldn't put a cache near someone else's radius. There's like a little red circle, and I put it exactly next to someone else's cache. So instead of getting the cache back up and digging a new hole somewhere else, I had the genius idea of making another smaller cache and putting it in another location. And this smaller little cache will be the one that's on the geocaching app, not the ammo cache. I know it's a little convoluted now. There's now 4 geocaches out in the world. So the small one you're seeing on the screen right now is the one that is actually on the geocaching app. And of course I left some instructions leading them to the ammo cache. It's become so confusing. I can understand if you don't know what's going on. Enough about that, let's get into what happened. So we had 21 finds, which I think is pretty good. And in fact, we had 3 on the first day. Here's a nice little calendar here showing you how many people found it on what days. So the cache was being found, but I'm a little disappointed. Some people didn't quite get the memo about it being a secret note to a secret cache, because the first person who found it decided to announce to the whole world that it existed. So next time you see something that says secret, maybe keep it a secret. Unfortunately, we already ran into our first problem with the ammo cache. I got a message on the 30th, so 2 days of the cache being open. Hi, I went to the second coordinates today and found a big cache box with a padlock on it. Also, we found a fake rock, which we would assume should have the key for the padlock, but it was empty. Should the key be in the fake rock, or is there something we've missed? And they actually sent a photo attached. Here it is. Now, the first thing that I noticed is that the rock is no longer attached to the cache. So, number one, someone's already ripped the rock off, and number two, they've nicked the keys. I don't know who's going around stealing keys to geocaches, but this posed a massive problem because I did not have a second set of these keys. So I was off to the shops to buy a bolt cutter. At first, I bought a $50 small bolt cutter. I thought it was going to fit and work. These handheld bolt cutters aren't even strong enough to cut this lock. So I had to go back to the shops again and buy a big off bolt cutter that I had to carry through the woods. There were people doing their afternoon jogs and I was walking around with some big massive bolt cutters through the park. Alright, round 2. I've got the big bolt cutters now. I greatly appreciate whoever took or lost the keys. Thank you very much for making me do this. Alright, that did the trick. Bolt cutters are cut now. Oh, it's good to see the chicken treat hasn't gone moldy. No, it doesn't look like the keys are even in here. I think someone just took them. The new lock is on. It's one of the number combinations now instead of a key. And the rock's just going to sit loose with the code in it. So hopefully no one loses the rock or nicks the rock. I'll just have that sitting on top of it. So after I cut the old lock off and put the new lock on, these people actually went on to go find Gerald. But for whatever reason, when they got there, they decided not to investigate anymore or give Gerald a good old tug, because they never ended up finding one of the DVDs. But it was a good sign, because people were actually going to multiple caches, or so it seemed. We only ended up getting one more person that I could confirm went to the second ammo cache. So we had 2 people go to the ammo cache, and then it was completely radio silence for, I don't know how long it was, let me check, 12 days. So I was getting messages of people saying they found the first cache, the small little container, but I wasn't getting any more messages saying that they'd found the ammo cache. So I thought this was a little strange. I thought surely at least one person would go off and find the cache. So I thought maybe something was wrong with the ammo cache. So then I went to go and investigate. Let's see what kind of condition this one's in. There's a nice KFC packet there. Oh, what? No way. Where is it? No. Someone's taken it. You gotta be f***ing kidding me. Someone's actually nicked the geocache. Oh, what? I was also coming to put this in because I forgot to put him in the first time round, my little clay monster. Luckily we get to keep him. Yes, someone had nicked the entire cache. Again, I don't know who's going around nicking things from this geocache, but there is someone out there in Perth who has a bunch of dirt glued to a wooden plank, which is glued to an ammo box, which has vacuum sealed chicken treat and my own wisdom teeth. So whoever's got it now, congratulations, you're the proud owner of my wisdom teeth and my toenail clippings. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, this really put a spanner in the works because for 12 days, no one had been able to find the $100 cash prize. Now, I don't know who stole the cash, and I'm not pointing any names, but there was a suspicious user who found the cache on the 11th of April with the name of Uday Hussein and a profile picture of Uday himself, and they said, found this bubtastic geocache today. Now, this is a new user with a callback to my last geocache video where I had a photo of Uday in the cache. They must have found out that it was me because I used the same geocaching account as I did for the last geocaching video, so I think you can follow creators on this, and he must have followed me waiting for me to do another geocaching video. Now, Uday, I don't know if you stole it or not. I did try messaging you. You never responded. I don't want to go on a witch hunt for you, Uday, but it's not looking good for you. I think you might have stolen my geocache. So I really didn't know what to do. Considering the person who stole the cache now has the coordinates to Gerald, I thought maybe it was only a matter of time that they'd steal Gerald himself. But in the end, I decided to go back to the first container and put new coordinates that led straight to Gerald. Alright, I decided to put the old note that was in the stolen cache into the first one. I've added a little extra note at the end saying that there's clues to the $100 cash prize, so hopefully people actually go looking for it this time. I even added an extra note at the bottom because I really wanted someone to find this $100 prize before whoever nicked it did. So now that was in place, I thought surely someone will find the $100 prize. Turns out geocaches aren't that adventurous. I still got a healthy influx of people finding my cache, but no one was venturing off to find the DVDs. So by now it had already been 2 months and no one had even picked up a single DVD. So I decided to call it quits on the geocaching experiment. I'm a little disappointed no one found the $100 cash prize. I mean, I don't want to own it myself, but I guess I expected too much of these people. I mean, they've probably got jobs, kids, and other things to do rather than drive around the whole of Perth trying to look for a geocache. Maybe if I was to do this again, I would have put the caches closer to each other within the same vicinity so you didn't have to drive around. So now I'm the proud owner of 5 copies of Clutch Powers on DVD and an egg with $100 in it. Oh yeah, by the way, I've decided to archive all the caches, so Gerald's not there, the first container's not there, and the egg's not there. I would have left them out, but I don't want people to ruin the whole area digging for an egg that might have already been found. Please do not go look for them. Don't dig up the area, they're not there.